Hello guys and welcome to Cars at 100. And in today's review, as you can tell, we have the brand new BMW M3. This is Xdrive competition version of this car. We're gonna look at this car from the outside, check this car on the inside, see the window sticker, take it for a ride and see what this car is all about and why the car is so hyped around the world. So I have the keys here to this baby. Let's not waste any more time and let's jump into this review. Let's start from the outside first. As you can tell, this front is such a controversial. Everybody's talking about this front kidney grills. As you can tell, they are big. BMW has been going through this design phase, and me personally, I love this design. M stripes here with competition underneath it. This car is special, and this kidney grills really represent the heritage for this car. And I know, especially with this BMW 50-year badge, this is true M car, the best M car in the lineup. Some people might say it's M2 the best, but this one is, I think, the best all-around M car in the BMW M lineup. You have the laser lights. The blue laser lights are distinguished by the blue accents on the inside, and they are laser lights in terms of better brightness. And even though they're a little bit diminished here in the United States because of the regulations, in Europe they are much brighter, but still you got the bragging rights of telling that this car is fully loaded with the lights option as well. Bottom of the bumper, you have this kind of sporty look. You can also option the carbon fiber package goes around the car, but you get standard carbon fiber roof. You won't get carbon fiber roof if you get a sunroof, which this car you shouldn't get. You have the parking sensors here. You have this all around. You have the option for the 360 camera. As you can tell, the front camera, you can always put this camera on if need be when you're parking. Very convenient. This car gives you lots of luxury options, not just performance that this car is all about. As we go around, you have the vents here. The vents are really functional. They cool off the brakes, and this whole section here is meant for performance. The whole car on the exterior is no gimmick. Everything is functional. In terms of these rims and tires, as you can tell, this is Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Not everybody gets these tires. It's like some kind of a tire lottery that BMW owners have to go through. Some people get P0, some people get Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. This is a better tire for this car, and you'll feel it when you're driving this car even more in terms of the performance that it gives you. In terms of the rims here, you have the blacked out style rims here. You can also get silver look with the black accents on the inside, but this is very good in terms of the tanzanite blue metallic two color that this car is on the exterior here. Kind of goes well with the brakes as well. This is M compound brakes on par with Brembo brakes that some other performance cars offer on the market. You have the BMW M 50-year badge here as well with the M logo to really let you know that this car is a very important car in history. Here we have the M3 competition badge, and you have this design here. As you can tell, these are very wide arches up front. You also have very wide arches in the back. If you can tell, this car is very different than BMW M340. You have a much bigger and more menacing, more performance stand, and that's why enthusiasts really prefer this. You can really see how much this bumper extends compared to the BMW M340. This is a really performance looking exterior bumper. You have these lights that are not much different compared to M340 or any other 3 Series. The trunk is probably the same as well, but everything else from this angle and bumper is changed, especially with these quad exhaust pipes. They're real exhaust pipes, and you can see how big of a pipes they are, and they really sound good. the M3 competition badge here with M stripes, and you have the same 50-year BMW roundel in the back to round out the special 50-year badging on this car. Xdrive badge here as well to accentuate that this car is all-wheel drive, even more performance, is 0 to 60, is faster than the regular M3. Unfortunately, in the States, we don't get the wagon version of this car. If we did, this would be the perfect car for enthusiasts who has a family. You have 4 doors, you have nice child seat locks in the back, and you can use this car every day. This look that really sells this car. You have the 20 inches in the back, and to sum up the size, they are 285/30 are 20-inch rims in the back, so they're wider and they're also thicker in terms of width. In the front, you have 275/35 ZR 19-inch rims up front, so they're a little bit smaller, and you can tell by the size in space between the front and back staggered setup here. You can really understand that this car is more of a rear biased car. Even if it's in a 4-wheel drive mode, you can also put this car in a rear wheel drive only, and you can do the donuts if you wish so. Side mirrors here, as you can tell, they are much different than the previous generation BMW M3. Some people like them, some people don't like them. This is more of a different design. This is more of a conservative design, in my opinion, compared to the previous generation of BMW M3. This is more of a strict looking car, and I would say this is more of a grown-up look. This car needs time, so with time this car will grow in terms of the appeal, and I think it's going to be a much better car than even all the previous generations of M3 cars. You have accents here on the hood. This is basically accentuating the M engine that is under this hood, but you don't have any big bulges that you had in a previous generation. You have just the straight lines here. It is more of a conservative and more strict look, as you can tell by the lines, all the sharp creases and edges of this car. Carbon fiber roof here. Those who know that have this car, and you have these 2 lines here that have basically extension from the front of that hood. Especially when you look at this car from the rear, you really see these lines. Again, very, very conservative performance look to this car. Even you get these lines on the antenna here. It's no more a shark fin antenna. This is more of a different design here. Every little detail on this car really stands out. You have a Halfmeister King here. This is a very important BMW design feature that harkens back to old cars. One of the most important things for the performance of this car, maybe the top of the most important, because this engine is all about performance. 500 plus horsepower from this engine. This is more than the previous generation of M3. You have the BMW M Power here, and you have the intake tubes here, and it's a big engine. In person looks much bigger than even on the video. Very interesting design for this car. This is a fully German built car. It is from Munich, Germany. I will show you that from window sticker. Unlike some of the SUVs that BMW builds in South Carolina, lots of strut tower bracing here that holds this car in terms of the performance on the road very well. You don't have anything in the trunk area, but you have underneath the car struts that hold the rear of the car in terms of the balance. So lots of aerodynamical and suspension tweaks for this car. These seats, we're gonna talk about them a little bit more detail when we're gonna see the front driver's side with infotainment as well. In terms of the design, in terms of the quality and everything, you have this carbon back seats. This is gonna be very important for some of you, and I think most of you, because this car has a big trunk and you can put a lot of stuff here. There is no spare tire here. This is more of a performance car, and everything, every little piece of weight counts in this car, and the spare tire would be a little bit heavy for this car. But overall, I would say you have lots of options in terms of the storage here, and you have some storage packets on the right as well. Now, in terms of the rear seats in this car, very big amount of room here, I would say, because of these carbon back seats. They're very thin. If you had the regular seats, they would probably extend a little bit longer here, thicker they would be. They look incredible in terms of the design. You have the harness you can put through here if you wish so. I don't know where you're gonna mount it though, but you have the option here for that as well. There's plenty of legroom here, plenty of headroom here. I'm 6 feet tall, quite comfortable here in the back. You also have here child seat locks, as you can see. So it is quite a family car, I would say. You have here this section you can put down. You don't have anything here except you can put something longer from the trunk area through here. There is no middle handrest here, which is quite unusual, I would say. Very interesting. In terms of this climate control, you have the display here, and you have a third way climate control for the rear passengers, as well as the USB Type-C connections there to charge your devices. And you have two vents, you have tweeters up here, and it's a quality design in terms of the look of it. You have the lights here, you have the soft touch here, you have the soft touch here. If you wanna red leather with stitching here, you have a soft touch here. Hard plastic bottle holder here, you have a book holder here, you have a trunk release button here, and you have a Harman Kardon sound system, which is standard for BMW M3. Interior lighting here. This will flash when the doors are open and the car is on and you sit in there. You have a tweeters here for the sound system as well. The door handle here, very quality feel. You have automatic up and down for all 4 windows, and you have a automatic folding side mirrors here, as you can see. And you have adjustment for the mirrors here as well. In terms of this entrance, you have the M3 door sills here. Very special feeling for those who know what this badge is all about. This badge has not been changed for many years. Now, in terms of these seats, are quite adjustable. For such a performance seat, you still have the adjustment, and you have a carbon fiber everywhere. You have a lot of bolstering. You have the perforation here. In terms of the design, it's very unique, very performance looking and feeling seat when you sit in it. You have the M3 that lights up at night, looks very unique. And in order to enter this driver's seat, I've been told the best way is to put your left hand here, put your leg inside, and not even touch this here, because this is very big bolstering here, as you can tell, and you sit very snug in these seats. These seats are very popular. A lot of people get these seats, even though you have the hump here with the carbon fiber. They look special in terms of the design, but for some of the people who are not skinny, you know, it's not gonna be that comfortable. But generally speaking, I think you can live with them, just because knowing that this is the lighter and more performance based. You have the carbon fiber accents here all around, and let me show you that in a more detail on the interior aspect of this car. Very important feature I wanted to show you for this competition version of this car is the M striping on the seat belts. The special aspect of this car is 100% here, especially with these seats. You really feel that this car is all about performance. You have this carbon fiber here, carbon fiber here. You have M badges everywhere. You have M1 here, M2 here in red. You have these 2 buttons here. You have a carbon fiber paddle shifters, thick steering wheel. You have the M striping, M stitching. You have a lot of features that really show this car off. Center console here. You have the M stitching on the gear lever here, and it's really unique. You have the aspects here for the transmission. Gear changes, first is the least ferocious, and third is the most powerful. It's gonna really change gears fast. In terms of the transmission, this is the one big change that BMW M3 this generation had to go through, because there is no more dual clutch transmission for the M3s. It is only ZF 8-speed. So this is something that good in terms of everyday use for this car. It's going to be more reliable, durable. I'll be honest with you, this is a good change. Generally speaking, I would say that these cars are really improving, and they're going through the phase of improving, so we should take it with a little bit of understanding, I think. You have the heated steering wheel here. Some of the performance cars don't even offer this, but BMW made sure you have this even with the carbon fiber accents here. So some of the convenient options are here. You have the adaptive cruise control here, and you have the media controls on the right. In terms of the touch controls, they're not here. It is still buttons. You have the M1 button and M2 buttons here. You can set them up any way you want. You can put them in most efficient in M1, or the most powerful, the most highest basically performance in M2. This is the new layout for 23 models, and they really show the difference of quality compared to the previous generation. This is Xdrive 8 now. You can really tell the difference here. The big difference is there are less buttons for the climate controls, almost no buttons for the climate controls except the front defrost and rear defrost here. That's the only 2 climate control buttons, and even they are haptic buttons. Everything you can control through this infotainment. You have the button here for climate menu. You can adjust this on a go. I would say this is a kind of a good and bad change. It's going to be a good change for newer generation of people who come into this car and want to drive this car, and they are new to this brand and new to the M3. But it's not going to be a good change for those people who coming back for the previous generation of the cars, because this is more confusing. So just to give you a little breakdown here, to adjust certain things, you have this apps. So all the apps are located in all apps in terms of this menu, and you have to find what you're looking for. And it's really frustrating sometimes to find certain things, but I think you can get used to this. People judge this right away, just like a kidney grill. And I think it'll be a learning curve before you really adjust yourself and learning this. But I think it is more complicated than easier to use. In terms of this display here, it is not touchscreen, of course, but you have this different quality M kind of a performance look for the gauges. You can adjust them by pressing the M mode here. If we press the M mode, car becomes more of a sporty heads-up display here. Everything is all around performance in this car. You have this middle storage here. You have two cup holders here, medium size, I would say. They're not small, they're not large. And you have the wireless charger pad here. And one really negative kind of for this car is, why not put a type C charger here right beside the USB type A, because most of the cars really get type C as a charging port, kind of an old school way for such a futuristic look for this infotainment. This carbon fiber looks and feels special. You have the big carbon fiber piece here and it looks special, it looks nice. In terms of the design as well, for the screen curves here, and quality of the screen is very good as well. This is all OLED screen. Also, you have the options here for some of the infotainment media options here. You have the hazard button here, and you have the media volume knob here as well. And you have a standard Harman Kardon sound system for this car. You also have interior lighting that you can adjust with many different colors: green, blue, red, yellow. You can adjust these colors at night. It really looks nice. In terms of this middle here, you have the option to control your infotainment through these buttons, as well as this knob here, and it's quite fast. This whole infotainment is very fast. It works very good, as you can see. Because I put the car in a sport mode, it is louder. You can really tell. You can start this car in a loud mode, just like that. You can also turn this off by pressing this button, and you don't have that much of a sound coming in. You have the Sedan button here, you have M mode button here. But to come back to this transmission lever, you would press the pedal down and you would move the shift to the left to put it in neutral, and then forward to put it in reverse. And then you would get different versions of camera here. As you can see, you can really control these cameras because this is 360 view, and you can really go through different looks for this car, where this car is. You also have the car wash mode, parking mode that you can see, and you can adjust basically to see many different sides, you know, of the car. When you park, it's very convenient. View here for the doors, so you can see how far the doors will open, and it's very good for those people who are not sure how much to open the door. To put this car in a drive, you can put the car in a drive here, and you can also put the car in a sport, and basically it will be manual only, so you can change the gears like this, as you can see there. And also you can change the intensity of gear shifts here by this two buttons here, and you have the start stop engine button here, of course. And the M mode gives you the option to go through, basically to put this car in the full M mode. You will see your options for the setup here. Press M1 here, you will have the most efficient mode, because this is the way it's set up. I will show you that in a little bit. Press the M2 here, the car goes in the most basically performance mode. This is most efficient, the way it's set up, and this is most performance, the way it's set up. To set this up, you would press the setup button. It will pop up right away, and you can see the configuration for M1 button and M2 button here, and you can adjust that right here. You can adjust engine, transmission, chassis, steering, brake, DSC, start stop. You can adjust everything basically. You can adjust this car the way you want. You can have the steering feeling rough, kind of you know, precise, but transmission to be smooth. or transmission to be rough but the suspension to be soft. If you don't want just the buttons to give you those features, you can always go into setup and adjust. It is very convenient in terms of the performance. It really gives back to you this adjustment, and everybody's different, and this car really provides you the differences. Now I wanted to show you this middle console here. You have USB Type-C option here to charge your device here, not to connect. You have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you don't have a big storage here. I don't really think you need it for such a car, but still roomy, I would say. And you have a stitching here for this middle console here. You also have an automatic parking brake here. I have the window sticker here. You can see how much this car is in this review, and you can see extra options and standard features on the right there. This is 2023 BMW M3 Competition Xdrive Sedan. You have the Tanzanite Blue 2 metallic color, which is $1,950. Fiona Red Black Extended Merino Leather Parking Assistance Package, which is $700. Executive package, which is $1,800, and you have all the other options included except the AM shadow lights, which is $300. You have carbon fiber trim, which is $950. It's not bad actually for such a quality of carbon fiber. You have icon adaptive LED with laser light headlights that I showed you before. It is $1,000, and you have drive recorder, and you have wireless device charging, which is $200. Convenient because this car has a wireless Apple CarPlay. And final assembly point for this car is Munich, Germany. This is fully German car, designed and built in Germany. You have 18 miles per gallon combined, 16 in the city, 22 on a highway. And suggested retail price for this car in this review is $95,095. Let's take this car for a drive. Let's see what this car is all about. What is this hype in this, community of BMW drivers that make this car a benchmark of performance sedan? Let's go ahead. I would say one negative thing about this car right away, to get it out of the way: seats. So if you use this car every day, I would say you have to be a really, like enthusiastic in having sporty race seats like these bucket seats are. You have to really be like, oh, you know what, I can take this over being comfortable on every day. But one hint, after this I would tell you the most positive things about this car, because mostly they are positive. This is a well-made car in terms of the performance, in terms of the aspects of everyday performance, I would say. Everyday usability for this engine, filling up this car every time. It is a very enjoyable car. BMW did a very good job with this car. It's my friend's car. Shout out to Alex. He gave me this opportunity to review this car for you guys, and I've been driving in this car for a while, and we've been driving a lot, and there is not a lot of negative about this car. Hype is real, let me just put it this way. So one thing is the seats. If I would have this car, I would probably have a more comfortable seat. When you get this car in the lighter colors, that grille really shows this car's true unique way of design, and this is what BMW was trying to go for. The car is all about is the performance, but it's also about what it represents in terms of the design. And I think interior and exterior design that this car has is really something that is unique, and BMW can pull this off because they have to make big steps in order for the hype to be real, I guess. So if I put the car in M1, it becomes quieter, it becomes more subdued in terms of the transmission changes of the gears, and I would say the steering wheel also becomes softer. It's very direct steering wheel, a little bit on a loose side, but being a sedan, an everyday car as well as the performance, I would say that this is kind of understandable for many reasons, because you're not really gonna take this car to the track. 90% of people who own these cars will not take this car to the track, even though it's track capable. Now, in terms of the direction changes and how this car behaves, the one thing is, I would say, about this car is takes it away a little bit from daily aspect of this car is the fact that it wants you to drive it quick. And sometimes you just overwhelmed with that feeling because you realize that, you know, you just want to relax and you want to enjoy the car just the way it is. It's kind of understandable why the steering needs to be soft like this, so it's not too direct, but at the same time it's not soft like a luxury car. So I would say that's okay. But to talk about it in detail is that it's good for what it is. It's good for how it is in terms of the direction changes. It's very quick. I don't know if you really need to have a better steering feel than this. Maybe because, you know, you would have more performance feel to it. This car has been tuned and engineered on the Nürburgring, so it is a pretty big deal in a performance car world. It changes directions very quick. The suspension helps this steering very much. The engine sound, which is absolutely piped in, but it's done so well by BMW that they knew that people would complain if it sounded bad. They engineered the sound very well. They have made improvements to this all-wheel drive system. It is a very, very well engineered setup in terms of the overall everything coming together for the performance of this car, and it feels much more powerful than 500 horsepower plus that is advertised with. It is for some people it's even overwhelming with these gear changes. Sometimes you feel like it's even faster than the dual clutch transmission because it's engineered better. This is what the engineering all about. You really can handle this power, and it gives you so much confidence. That's the first word that comes to mind when you drive this car. The steering, it is loose, it is not rough. Even in M2 mode, the steering is the tightest, but it's not tight in terms of the feel of the steering. It's tight in terms of the inputs, so you can direct this car any way you want. It's a little bit wobbly, I would say, but it's direct. It's engineered to be easy to change directions, and it's stable enough. And you feel like this power that comes on the four-wheel drive, it gives you more confidence than you can understand. Nobody really mentions this a lot, but this car makes you a better driver, and this is the magic of BMW M cars. They give you ego boost in a good way. They make you better than what you are because they give you this performance. What's underneath all this, you just think to yourself, it's just the proper engineering, this and that, but it's more than that. It's years of knowledge given to this M3 over the past how many years, since 1980s. And you can really feel this is what you buy when you get this car. You get performance that has been honed throughout the years and has been given to this car. It's like the best version is like, you know, when a father gives life to his son, and then son gives life to his son, and then the improvements of genes are shown here. It's like the son of great performance car that was E36 back in the day. You can really feel it here throughout the years. Yes, it's modern, yes, it's different, yes, it's technologically advanced in terms of the sound. This is what performance cars should be after the experience over the years of improving, and BMW M3 really does that. E92 was the first car that I fell in love with M3. Whether it was a sedan or coupe, I really enjoyed what these cars were all about. I like that idea that 3 Series was already a cool, fast car, but when you add M to that, it took it to next level. It was the, engineered performance, and it was warranted because that car had a very big history. And I just like that, you knew that you had the best, because M3, that's it. There was nothing better after that. The 3 Series, the best 3 Series was M3, and I like that idea. And I think a lot of people, when they buy these cars, they get the best, and they really enjoy the best. Cars like this, they give you a next level of feelings, because this is how progress needs to be enjoyed. And in terms of automobile, this is the progress of automobile, and you get to enjoy it. We're just paying a little bit less than $100,000. Yeah, you've seen a lot of videos about this car, what this car is all about, but for me, this is years of passion put into this car. And next BMW M3 that comes out of this car will be improvement of this car. I don't think it's gonna be worse than this car. Maybe transmission is gonna be different, maybe it's gonna be hybrid, but if it's gonna make you feel a better driver than you are, then BMW have succeeded. So let me know what you think about this car in the comment section. See you next time, guys. Stay loving cars.